Hey, what's up, guys? Malt here, and do we get hot dogs? Nina, D-Bro. Hey, Terry. Hey, you're in luck. I got my last 2 hot dogs with your name on them. Ooh, subverting expectations. Awesome. You want onions, mustard? It works for me. There's mustard on mine. Here you go. Those are some crunchy hot dogs, dude. Wow. These are amazing. Honestly, it seems weird to say, but these hot dogs are incredible. What's your secret? Is it the mustard? I think it's the onions. Is it the onions? Nope. Okay, I'll tell you. They're vegan. Seriously? There's no meat in them? Not a bit. Since when are you vegan, T-Bro? I'm not. There was a bit of a mix-up when I ordered my shipment. But I guess I kind of figured, like, how much actual meat is in real hot dogs? I guess. People love them, though. No one has even asked about it. They're totally indistinguishable from the real thing. Imposter hot dogs, huh? Now I've seen everything. And I prefer the term artificial, but I suppose so. Imposter hot dogs. Indistinguishable. Wow, this is important, apparently. You okay, Nina? I'm fine, just thinking aloud. Well, now that's done, I'm gonna close up for the night. You guys headed back to Fletch City? Yep, I think we're done here. I'm gonna head back to the office. Safe trip home. Well, I'm gonna say one thing. I've had vegan hot dogs before. All the ones I've tried are not good. But don't get that confused with me thinking, like, me shitting on vegan/vegetarian food. I've definitely had vegan and vegetarian food that I love. It just basically has its own thing to it. It doesn't have to be a replacement for meat. I just think of it as its own flavor that you can't get anywhere else, which is true. And some of these things are really good. I've never found a single vegan hot dog that's good, though. To me, obviously. In my opinion. Aquila Defense and Law Offices, January 10th, 11:51 p.m. Nina? Hey, Nina. Yeah? You couldn't sleep either, huh? Not a chance. You think the aces are going to be found guilty? I'm trying to be optimistic. But it's like we talked about just this morning. While Chad couldn't prove murder, the aces were still involved in dangerous illegal activity. I don't think we can disprove Chad's charge of manslaughter by reckless endangerment. We have so much evidence, but none of it fits together, right? I was thinking about that too. I guess we should both try to get some sleep for real this time. I'm gonna grab a glass of water. I just don't... What the... Dylan, is that you? You say something, Nina? Yeah, I thought I heard... You want me to get that? Yes? Whoops. Nina, get dressed. Who is it? That guy from up at the spire. Can you narrow it down? Get dressed. Jasper Frank? Aquila, wasn't it? Nina Aquila? That's right. You here to find me for littering? Don't give me that. Custodian's as much of a job as anything, including being a lawyer. Then why are you here? I said I wouldn't get involved again with the roster racers. Again? But if those aces are found guilty tomorrow with Clara gone, and those teams at each other's throats, it could be the end of Two's Jenkin Racing. Whoa. Wouldn't that be good for you? What do you mean? Don't the racers create a lot of work for you custodian-wise? Don't mistake my distance from the racers for indifference. I've watched them for years. I've seen aces and jokers come and go, but it's strange. What is? I've never seen the bonds between them grow so tenuous. Losing Clara at this very time, it's like someone pulled a keystone out of a carefully built house. Take any other stone at any other time, and the rest of the house stays standing. But pull out the keystone and the whole thing comes tumbling down. Now that he said that, it almost does seem surgical. Anyway, before I left tonight, I ran into that Ryoko girl. She said that you were looking for anything strange from the night that Clara died. Anything at all. That's right. Well, there was something strange. It happened when I was on my way up to the mountain in my truck. I reached down to change my radio station, and at that moment I saw headlights in my rearview mirror. Before I could look up, I was passed by a car. It was fast, and managed to round a corner ahead of me before I got a really good look at it. Okay, what's strange about that? I'm getting to that. I looked up, and at that moment, another car passed me, and suddenly I had the strangest feeling. Deja vu. Like you've just been in this place before? That's the one. Hiya on the streets! It was so powerful that I was worried I'd hallucinated amid the falling snow. I had to stop the truck and make sure I was awake. So what? Are you saying it was like the exact same car passed me twice? But how's that possible? You tell me, you're the lawyer. When was this? Getting towards 7 p.m.? I know it's a small thing, but you did say anything. I did. Thanks, Mr. Frank, but why didn't you tell me this before? I didn't know you. You still don't really know me. Maybe not, but I saw your truth in the heart of the drift. I knew that you would listen even if it sounded ridiculous. And I think Clara would have wanted me to tell you. How do you know her? I didn't, really. It's more that she knew me. I've no idea how, but she knew my name before I even spoke to her. That woman's contacts extended far and wide. I think she was more powerful than she herself realized. Believe me, that's an unusual feeling for someone like me. I am a bit of a hermit. Now, that'll pass into the ether. Maybe that's for the best. Well, that's it. Mr. Frank, I have one other question, but maybe you can answer. The roster racers are being torn apart over the sponsorship issue. Who is the sponsor, do you know? Sorry, but no. I don't know who they are. But I know some things. Clara knew. And as soon as she found out, she wanted nothing to do with it. High society stuff. As for me, I think I'm done here. I have family in Florida who've been asking me to move down there for years. I think now's the time. Good luck, Miss Aquila. To us both. I'll see you out. Take care of yourself, Jasper. Deja vu, huh? It was a fake car? A fake Clara? Fake Cara? This is the end of the day. It is recommended that you save your game to a new file before you continue. You can also save at any time from the main menu screen. Would you like to save your game? Yes! Save time. It's time for the final trial. Aquila Defense and Law Offices, January 11th, 8:26 a.m. Nina? What's up? What's up? Surely you know what's up. How do you do it? What? Go to court with a straight face when things are so bleak? Practice? Besides, during Terry's trial, you always seemed like Mr. Optimism. What's wrong? That was different. Deep down, I knew that T wasn't guilty, even if it was hopeless. I wanted him to still believe that. Then you've got the right idea. I have? Dylan, being a defense attorney isn't about winning and losing. It's about being there for your client, and sometimes it's even more important when they're going to be found guilty, or when they're truly alone. So, are you good to go? Can you do this? I think so. You're going to do better than that. You ready for court? We're good to go, boss. Let's get to the courthouse. Boom. Yeah. 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 Keep going the wrong way for the court. Oh, God, that's not the courthouse. Oh, that is the courthouse. I didn't mean to... Okay, whatever. Deep breaths, Nina. No matter what happens today, you're going to be there for your clients, just like Anya always taught you. Dylan needs you to hold it together, too, just as much as your clients. Let's do this with dignity. Meow. Ah. What is it? I forgot to call Ren. It's okay, I took care of it. You did? I had to call him while you were in the shower, but he didn't answer. Did you can't try him again? You were in the shower for your customary half hour with that hair of yours. What do you think? No answer, huh? Nada. You think he was worried about the way the wind was blowing? Maybe. Not easy seeing your friends get sentenced. I've no idea, thanks to you. Third time lucky, Miss Aquila. Chad. And I must say, you're a consummate professional. Why'd you say that? Because you've got nothing. No promotional lighters, no dragon summoning cards. Even Anya Miller would concede in your position. Then my clients are fortunate that I'm not Anya Miller. Well... Good one, Nina. So you do have a plan? What? No! I just didn't want it to be too easy for him. Finally, he's the one who got cut off. Please be seated. We are here to observe the third day of the trial of three defendants. Keisuke Akagi, also known as the Ace of Diamonds, Hank Castle, also known as the Ace of Hearts, and Jocelyn Montefiore, also known as the Ace of Clubs. These individuals are involved in actions which led to the death of Clara Mass, a wealthy socialite, also known as the Ace of Spades. The first trial day, it was agreed that the prosecution would yield the charge of murder in the first degree. The defendants do not stand accused of premeditated murder. However, they remain accused of several offenses, namely murder by reckless endangerment, involuntary manslaughter, as well as murder in the second degree. At the second trial day, we addressed the possible motives of the defendants. While compelling, those ones were each somewhat flawed compared to our obvious friendship, shared by the defendants and the deceased. Neither the prosecution nor the defense have presented compelling arguments about what happened during the actual race, and the bench has suggested both sides seek more expertise in matters of this Tuesjankin racing. Mr. Hawk, Miss Aquila, have you attempted to do this? I have, Your Honor. As have we. Chattis Trey. What could Trey possibly know to make him so confident? Very well, be aware. In accordance with the 3-day statute, I'm compelled to render a verdict at the end of this trial day. Mr. Hawk, please restate the prosecution's case. Of course. Your Honor, the prosecution perspective has not changed. Clara Mass is dead. The precise events of her death are, as we've established, not entirely certain. Direct evidence in this case does not seem to be forthcoming. Our only alternative is to turn to outside expertise, as the court has suggested, to try and resolve this deadlock. It is still the prosecution's belief that the Aces are guilty on multiple charges, and we will clarify this via expert witness testimony. Thank you, Mr. Hawk. Bailiff, please bring in the defendants. The three of you are aware of the charges maintained by the prosecution. How do you plead? Not guilty, Your Honor. Not guilty, Your Honor. Not guilty, Your Honor. I suppose a little expediency was too much to hope for. Mr. Castle, Mr. Ikagi, Mr. Montefiore, the court recognizes your plea. Prosecution, please bring forth your first witness. We already know that Chad's going to bring out Trey. I'm not sure what he's going to say, but I bet it's compelling. Meanwhile, our knowledge of Clara's movements on that evening is a bit of a jumble. Our only hope is, if there is any hope, is to assemble that jumble into something more cohesive. It seems impossible, but let's not give up quite yet. Prosecution calls Trey Geerson to the stand. Oh me, oh my. Mr. Hawk, is this the correct witness? Well, yes. Your notes stated he was a mechanic. Uh-oh. Is there a problem, Your Honor? Oh, no problem. I just half expected you to be, well, a movie star. He's a is that supposed to be like a bi shonen character? I think that it's been a while for Judge Tani. Your Honor, I'm here for a reason. May we continue? Oh my, of course. Please state your identity for the court record. Your Honor, I am Trey Geerson, master mechanic and the current king of spades. But as for my profession, I am the owner of a series of auto repair shops in the Fledge City area, Geerson & Co. I am both the owner and practicing manager of the business, having trained every member of staff. Wow, he's not kidding when he says master mechanic. However, more importantly, Clara and I were close friends, I see. We had known each other for several years and had a great deal of respect for each other's skills. The Rostro Racers are in the midst of an internal disagreement that affects the future of mountain racing. Clara was central to this disagreement, but she practiced her racing skills daily, honing them to new heights of perfection. Your Honor, if I may, I feel the witness has established his identity, but this further pontification is unnecessary. We're all aware of Clara's exceptional skills. On the contrary, Clara Mass's exceptional skills are of great interest to the court. Mr. Geerson, please inform the court of what you told me yesterday. It is of my expert opinion that Clara Mass was the preeminent Tuesjankin racer. It would therefore be unconscionable, at least in my eyes, that she could die by simple accident or driving-based mishap. So if I'm to understand your meaning, Mr. Geerson, Clara Mass could have only crashed if she were somehow forced into doing so. Forced into a crash? That would mean, how could they? Order. Impossible. We've already established that there's zero evidence that any of the H's shunted Clara's car off the road. Perhaps, Mr. Geerson. Mr. Hawk and I discussed this, even if none of the Aces collided with Clara's car. There are many ways to coerce a driver into having an accident that involve a collision. This is bullshit! Hank. You know what as well as I do, Keisuke. It's racing. Putting pressure on each other is what we do. Order. Mr. Castle, control yourself. I'm sure Hank means well, but he rather eloquently proves my point. Clara was skilled, but still human. While she would have never made a simple error in high-controlled conditions, this was a high-pressure race. This was where she was pushed, metaphorically speaking, into making a mistake that caused her death.
Objection.
This is all hearsay and conjecture. Surely this is inadmissible.
Objection.
He's an expert witness, but he can't just make stuff up. Mr. Gearson's remarks are quite well qualified by his experience and close knowledge of the deceased. If these matters are inconvenient for you, Miss Aquila, does not inherently make them untrue. Ms. Aquila raises a good point. Given the circumstances of the case, the court will allow Mr. Gearson to testify on this topic, with the express understanding that his remarks are purely his expert opinion. I guess that'll have to do. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Gearson, are you prepared to make a formal statement on this matter? I am, Your Honor. Well then, what are we going to do, Catman or Wolfman? Witness statement. Clara's skill was extraordinary and absolutely inconsistent. She had spent years honing her talents. It may be none of the other races struck her car or shunted her, but there are numerous other ways to cause a crash. Very well. Miss Aquila, you may begin your cross-examination. Of course, Your Honor. Gotta hand it to Chad. He almost had me convinced. Let's see what we can do. Cross-examination. Clara's skill was extraordinary and absolutely consistent.
Hold it.
Absolutely consistent? Yes. I've never seen Clara make a single error. The smoothness of her cornering was the stuff of legend. Most racers at some point are known to scratch the paint or dent their front or rear wings when drifting. Not Clara. I examined her car every bolt and weld, every single race, and there was never a scratch on it. Clara's car was damaged when he arrived at the scene of the accident. That could have been from the crash, I guess. She had spent years honing her talents.
Hold it.
You've known her that long? Only a couple of years, but I've heard the stories from before that. I have no reason to doubt them. It's hearsay, but it feels almost pointless to object. Tony's aware that this is just his opinion. I don't like it, but we'll have to go along with it. It may be that none of the other aces struck her car or shunted her.
Hold it.
So you admit that none of the aces collided with Clara's car? I admit that, yes. The evidence that Mr. Hawk has shown me appears quite conclusive. That doesn't mean that they're not responsible, though, because there are numerous other ways to cause a crash.
Hold it.
Like what? A banana skin on the road? Blue shell? It's possible that a near miss or aggressive overtake gone wrong. These are the sorts of things that can lead to a crash. Racing is a high-pressure activity. We've already established that everyone on the course had a compelling reason to win. They may have just allowed their tempers to flare that caused them to push things too hard. What if Clara was behind, then ducked her headlights and made her way to the front of the pack? I guess it's possible the other aces maybe without thinking made a tactical move to block her that caused the accident. Does that really make sense, though? It seems to be like a post-rationalization. Your Honor, the prosecution believes that the charade has persisted long enough. Perhaps. Miss Aquila? Yes, Your Honor? I appreciate your desire to follow all leads and do the right thing for your clients. However, this court cannot tolerate drawing out proceedings without good cause. Do you have a clear reason why we should continue to examine this case? Your Honor, if I... Miss Aquila? It's okay. Really? We all knew the risk when we started racing, and we all share in the responsibility for Clara's death. Even if we don't know exactly how it happened, I don't like it, but I guess I have to agree with Keisuke and Jocelyn. Surely, is this it? Is there nothing else? Just like Anya taught you, when to hold 'em and when to fold 'em. Your Honor. The defense... Wait! Phew, I had a small experiment. What's the meaning of this? Your Honor, you might recognize my expert witness Stan Renson from the last 2 court days. As you can see, he's arrived late. Ren, seriously? May I request a short recess? Surely not. Mr. Hawk, be reasonable. The court will grant you a short pause to brief your expert, no more. Thanks, Your Honor. Nina, it's wrong. All of it. Right, I know it's hard to see your friends about to be sentenced, but... What? No, not that. This! I checked it and it wasn't right, so I looked into a second opinion. Ren, calm down. Yeah, man. You're doing 120, we need you about a 40. Okay. We thought the waylaid wheel was Clara's because it matched her rims and tires. But it isn't! What? How? The wear on the tire is all wrong. Clara's car is missing its front driver's side wheel. But this is definitely a rear wheel. You're sure? Positive. But why does that matter? Doesn't that mean the wheel could have just come from anywhere? I thought about that, but these tires and rims, this combination is used by many of us Rostra racers, and practically no one else. They're a special racing compound in their lightweight rims. No normal driver would use them. Even so, can these have come from any other racer? I thought so too, and it would be hard to prove otherwise, but I had an idea. What? The reason why I got here late. I wanted to prove it was too big of a coincidence to simply ignore. I had to perform an experiment. You know how I told you that the place you found the tire was at the bottom of a dip in the course? Like the accident was uphill from where you found it? Yeah, I remember that. This tire is punctured, meaning someone probably removed it from by the roadside. So I drove up to the scene and put the tire on the road and let go of it. Due to the slope, it started rolling, and it came to rest almost exactly where you found it. Whoa. And here's the kicker. As part of reducing the weight of their cars, street racers don't carry spare wheels. And that suggests... Miss Aquila, proceedings must resume. Damn it, I need more time. What to do? Struggling to flip your assumptions? Mr. Hawk, how do I buy more... Wait. Could you please remind me of the list of charges that the prosecution has put before the court? The charges? Why? I wanted to be sure about them before the defense rests. I know that your notes are more organized than mine. Nina, what do you... Shh. Very well. The prosecution levels the charges of... Okay, that'll keep Chad talking for a minute or so while I get to think. Clara was found in her car, which had 3 wheels. The driver's side front wheel was missing. Now, we found this mysterious wheel, and Ren's experiment suggested it came from the accident site, but this isn't the missing wheel from Clara's car. It must have come from somewhere else. Where did it come from? Oh, this is a logic dive. Came from a different car. What was Was it what Chad said back at Great Wave? No, your style is more improvisational. Let's improvise. Which concludes our list of charges. There, are you satisfied? Not remotely. Your Honor, as you yourself have said, this case is currently made more complex with the fact that we do not have a clear understanding of how the accident took place. No one does. On the contrary, the defense wishes to propose an outline of what happened about drawing upon evidence. You know what happened? How is that possible? Didn't they already say what conditioner do you think he uses? Order. Wait, you know what happened? Hell no. I'm kind of playing speed chess here. You sure about this? It's what I do. Miss Aquila, explain herself at once. Your Honor, my associate has shed new light on a piece of evidence, this mysterious wheel, which is found further up the course from the accident scene. So, we're all aware that Clara's car was missing a wheel. This is not that wheel. What? Clara's car is missing the front driver's side wheel, but my associate says the wear pattern reveals this to be a rear wheel. Mere conjecture. To echo your earlier point, Chad? He's an expert witness. That these matters are inconvenient for you. If I could bottle this feeling and sell it, I'd be a billionaire. How could you possibly prove that has any bearing on Clara's accident? When placed on the ground at the side of the accident and left to roll, this wheel rolls right back to where we discovered it, on the course. Surely even you can admit that this is too large of a coincidence to simply ignore. So then, where's Clara's car's actual wheel? Oh, we'll get to that. That's right, that makes me sound smart. Really, I don't know. Maybe by the time we get there, I'll have figured it out. But for the moment, consider this. For us to find a wheel that does not belong to Clara's car, this must have come from a different car. An additional car that was somehow involved. Order in the court! Miss Aquila raises a good point. If another car, and by extension another driver, was involved in the events of Clara's death, this would have been a great bearing on the case. This would have a great bearing on the case. Mr. Hawk, can you account for this? I'm impressed, Aquila. Uh-oh. But tell me this. Let's say for a moment that there was an additional car. Where did it go? The accused aces didn't mention another car in their statements. The photographer didn't see another car all evening. No other car is seen in the photo of the aces in the crime scene. So riddle me this. When did the mystery wheel come to rest upon the track? Before the race? Isn't it that obvious? It must have been before the race. Pah, you're reaching. I've yet to see any evidence that suggests there was anything significant going on up at the mountain prior to the events of Clara's death. This is a fair observation. Mr. Aquila, do you have any evidence that any related events took place before the ace race? What evidence do we have that something happened on the mountain before the ace race? Someone did tell me that, but what was it? How did I know that? Oh, earlier race. Your Honor, last night one of the Rostra racers spoke to us up at the Rostra Vista. They said that they arrived at the mountain several hours before the ace race. They could hear the sounds of another race going on further down the track. Perhaps, but how is this relevant to the events involving Clara? I'm getting to that. How are these earlier events related? Not this one. I'm jumping too far with that one. The music right now is going hype, man. There's a lot of interesting tracks being played. This one. Let's see if we can keep building this picture of Clara's movements. She went there early where there was an earlier race. Your Honor, it is a defense's understanding that Clara Mass left her home early that evening, and was involved in something that prevented her from answering her phone despite others trying to reach her. So it's possible Clara was present at the mountain race, perhaps even taking part in this earlier race. Yeah, maybe she was. Not good. Let's say she was in this earlier race. In fact, why not? The prosecution concedes that she could have been in this earlier race. However, that has zero bearing on later events. But perhaps there was a race and Clara was in it. Perhaps maybe someone lost a wheel. Perhaps the other car was picked up by aliens, flying low over the mountain. None of this matters. He's right. Even if we had cast iron proof that Clara took part in the earlier race, how does that exonerate the aces? There must be some way this becomes relevant. Think, Nina. This point seems to be running to its logical conclusion, Miss Aquila. A moment, please, Your Honor. Okay. No pressure, but we got about 30 seconds to figure out how that earlier race connects to later events. Or this is going to end here and now. Then let's walk through it. I guess we're taking it as a given that Clara took part in the earlier race. Yeah, we've got to assume that. Clara got up to the mountain earlier than everyone thought. She wasn't alone, she raced with another car. T-Bro was up there setting up, but he was probably really busy, and his truck doesn't face the road, so he could have missed it. And not long after Clara and the other car set off, Svetlana, the Jack of Hearts, arrived at the top of the mountain. She heard the sound of two cars racing, Clara's car and a mystery car. But who won? I'm not sure that really matters. I guess we don't know. I mean, did they even finish the race? I can't help but feel that if the earlier race had finished, someone would have probably seen that happen. Wouldn't someone know if the earlier race had been finished? I don't know. Maybe I didn't follow the logic enough. Who's Marco West again? Oh, that's the photographer. Sure, the sound of two cars racing, Clara's car and a mystery car. But who won? Not sure that really matters. I guess we don't know. I mean, they even finished the race? Can't help but feel like if the earlier race had finished, someone would have seen that happen. Wouldn't someone know if the race had been finished? Marco West? Of course. If they had finished, Marco West would have seen them do it. He said he was camped out at the track for the whole evening. So we know they started racing, but they didn't finish. That means they must have stopped before the end of their race. And someone exchanged a tire. Right. Wait, come again? Think about it. Ren says that the street racers don't carry spare tires, right? So that means between the two cars in the course, there are 8 wheels, 4 wheels each. We have one of those wheels, and it's from the mystery car. But Clara's car is also missing a wheel. And this is the kicker. Clara's car, when we saw it, had 3 wheels still on it. But the mystery car was gone. It's simple algebra. If the mystery car drove off, then it must have had 4 functioning tires. Right. The driver of the mystery car must have replaced the faulty wheel that we have with one of Clara's. And presumably, the one that was rolled off was lost in the darkness before they could grab it. Why did all this even happen? I suppose it's simple. Why do you ever change a tire by the side of the road in the middle of winter? There was an accident. They must have had an accident. It's the only thing that explains both that the race didn't finish and why they would exchange tires. But we know that Clara must have driven back up, maybe via the side road to get to the ace race. So Clara just drove away in the one working car, leaving the other one stranded? Doesn't seem like her. And if the mystery car was left stranded near where Clara's crash would later take place, then where to go? I get the feeling that we're circling something very important here, but we're not quite there yet. Think, Nina. The two cars are racing, and there's an accident and both cars stop before they reach where Marco West is camped out on the course. One of the cars is left with 3 functional wheels, so it can't drive away. Clara's car turned up for the start of the ace race, and as we have one of the wheels, we know that one of the cars was left stranded. But as the mystery car wasn't there later on, it makes it impossible for Clara to have just driven away. We know that the mystery car was not there when the ace race happened. Only Clara's crashed car containing her corpse. That could mean... I'm afraid they did some bait and switch shit with the cars. I'm afraid I have to hurry you, Miss Aquila. That must mean... After the earlier race, what happened to Clara? Your Honor! The defense wishes to present a theory. Clara took part in the earlier race. There was an accident in which she was involved, and she never returned to the top of the mountain. Preposterous! She took part in the ace race! Can you prove that? I don't need to. There are over 30 eyewitnesses, including, if I might add, you! Did any of them speak to Clara? Any one of those witnesses? I didn't. My assistant didn't. Ryoko didn't either, but I'm trying not to out Clara, so let's not venture that bit. How would that possibly... All of us saw the same thing, a car with darkened windows. This is ridiculous. Of course Clara took part in the race. That's how she died. You're certain of that? Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Your Honor, the defense wishes for Mr. Geerson to make a statement concerning why he believes Clara took part in the ace race. You sure about this, Nina? I gotta be. Because based on our reasoning, no matter how nonsensical it seems, it's impossible for Clara to have done both. Very well. Mr. Geerson, please make a statement about why you're certain that Clara took part in the ace race. Preposterous. Witness statement. You all saw Clara start the race. Clara had been working toward it for weeks. Besides, if Clara had been left on the track, someone would have seen her. I find this whole line of reasoning insulting to her memory. All fair, but it can't be true. Thank you, Mr. Geerson. Miss Aquila, please begin your cross-examination. Gladly, Your Honor. Cross-examination. Okay. Well, we're going to do this cross-examination on the next episode, guys. I'm sorry. But things are fucking heating up. Things are getting hype. I'm excited to see what's going on next. I'm super, super intrigued. But right now, here's my assumption, if you guys care to hear it. I think that... So yeah, in the earlier race, Clara died somehow, or was killed. And then they left her body there on their crashed car. And left the engine running, kind of, on it. And then the fake car copy, by the way, which is like kind of shown in like the testimony from the janitor, there were 2 of the same car. The copy of the car was racing. Whoever the killer was actually driving that car. And then while he was behind and driving them, he turned off his headlights and left. And then they saw the lights in front of Clara. And then when they saw the car again, it was actually the dead car, or like Clara's crashed car. I just don't know how they could have. I don't know how else it could have worked. Like, I don't know how they could have like emulated or simulated a sound of them crashing so they would get out and check and stuff. But I think I'm getting on the right track there. I'm really curious to see how it actually turned out. But we'll see you on the next episode, guys, hopefully. So thank you guys so much for watching. We're winding down right now towards the end of this case. Hope you guys are enjoying it, trying to figure out this mystery together with me. And as always, I hope you guys all have a great day. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!